Hey, everybody, welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello, and today I've got my friend Lilo Fonseca. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did.
Awesome, because I don't think I've ever said your last name. I've always just been like, hey, what's up, Lilo? So,
Yeah.
Lilo, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, we've obviously known each other for about a year, a little more than a year now, I believe. But for the audience, just go ahead and give us an idea of who you are, what you're up to, and maybe your 10-year vision for yourself.
All right. So to put it all together, man, I am a father. I am a husband. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a fitness enthusiast. I'm all about business, and I'm also an accountability coach. Which been doing businesses since 22. I'm 31 now. Had a couple of businesses. I took the full-on entrepreneurial leap back in 2014 and never looked back.
And what's your 10-year vision for
Oh,
yourself?
my 10-year vision, brother. Oh man, it's big. Sometimes I don't like sharing it because certain people.
If you don't mind sharing it. Yeah, some people are going to be like, oh, whatever, right?
No, we're gonna be 100% honest here, man. I have a huge vision, and it involves a lot. In business, it involves growth. It involves taking my company nationwide. We have multiple branches, but we're trying to make it big. When it comes to finances, man, financial freedom, which is what everybody is after. Family, man, I just want to be able to spend a lot of time with my family in the next 10 years. In 10
That's
years,
awesome.
I'm going to be stable to where family can hang out. I can spend time doing what I love to do. But when it comes to, if we just want to put it out there, man, I want the cars, I want the boats,
Oh, man, money's the root of all evil, though, right? No, it's not.
No, man,
Those are all fun toys that you got to appreciate. So I know some people on here are like, oh, man, you want all the cars and stuff, but it really just differs. Everybody has different things, right? Some people might just want a cabin in the woods to like vacation at, and they're very minimalistic. But hey, why not have a few cars and a few toys if you can afford it, right? I want some too.
And then one of the biggest and most important ones, and that's why I left it for last, man. I look at life as a story, and I want to leave a legacy. Within the next 10 years, man, I want to change lives. I set a goal for this year, and I want to 10x that as the years go. And one of them is just changing lives through fitness and accountability.
And if you want to share, if you don't mind sharing your personal story too, like for those listening, I think many people in my audience probably know what 75 hard is. You've already done that like twice or three times or something, right?
And the trigger started last year. I did 75 hard last year. I started it on April 17th. I know the date I started it. And within 75 days, man, it just changed who I was. I've always evolved, but that was a leap of evolvement. I became a different individual after that. I started really focusing on fitness, man. I lost a total of like 50 pounds within the 75 days. It made me just a better man overall. From there, I continued the lifestyle. I stay somewhat fit now. I work out every single day, or not necessarily work out.
You're fit.
Well, but man, I'm trying to be shredded. I'm trying to be like you, Chris.
Thanks, man. Hey, I've been trying to stay lean. It's been tough with the quarantine thing, like the gyms being closed. I know you probably felt that too. Well, actually, you guys got your own gym that you're kind of building and stuff, right? So you had a little bit of flexibility, got some workouts in there.
I got two places that I get to sneak into.
There we go.
I did something at home, and then one of our businesses, we're into real estate, and we're building a commercial gym.
That's
so
awesome.
I get to sneak in there every now and then and work out a little bit.
Yeah. So for everyone in the audience who's not watching the video on YouTube, I actually met Lilo, like I said, a little over a year ago. So before you started 75 Hard, and then as you went through the program, you know how you kind of see people like once a month, every few weeks, you don't really notice the difference that much. But until you look back at a photo and you're like, I like did a double take. I'm like, dang, bro, I could see it. Like your face leaned out. You look like a different person. You know, you lost so much. Like 50 pounds is quite a bit. Like you notice that on somebody. You probably had to get new clothes, new jeans. Like,
man, I had to get a whole new wardrobe. And it's crazy because we were having this conversation yesterday, and they were like, you didn't look fat. You just look very thick. It wasn't, because I still weights, but I didn't have a clean or a healthy lifestyle. I worked out. I had an active lifestyle, but not a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I still look big, but after the 75 days, man, I lost a lot of weight. I had to put some of it back on because I got so little.
That's
Um,
crazy.
so
I mean,
there,
that's a ton, man, because I lost like 15 or 20 pounds. I leaned out. I was 185 at my highest. I got down to like 155. And that's when like my bones, like in my cheeks were sticking out a little bit. And my girlfriend and my parents, like I was shredded. I was real shredded. But it was almost a little bit too much where like everything looked really loose on me. And like I kept getting comments that I lost too much weight almost.
yeah.
And so it was almost like annoying because I'm like, man, but I look good and I'm in shape. You probably get that too. Like, man, you got smaller. You're like, smaller and leaner are two different things. Like leaner
Well, and I
is
think what happened to me, I lost it so fast because it
yeah,
was such a drastic change that
right.
ate up all the muscle I had, and then I just became a smaller person.
Yeah.
Man, I'm in the same process right now. I'm actually on day 31 of my second or my 2020 75 hard.
Man, you totally transformed. And now it's like what Andy Frisella talks about in that program. It's not like a workout program, it's like a mindset program, a lifestyle program, because you do become a different person. And after you make it a new habit, it gets part of your lifestyle. Like you probably feel terrible. Even on my days off, I feel like I got to do something. I got to stretch and like jog a mile, like that's my rest day. If I do nothing at all during the day, not even like jumping jacks, I'm just like, man,
And that's exactly with me. I literally do. I have a timer where I have to stay active for
awesome.
45 minutes every single day. Even if I don't have just a killer workout, but I make sure that no matter what, even if I go for a walk with my kids, I'm putting 45
Just
minutes
do something.
active.
It's really important for the audience to know that like something's better than nothing. I think like people like Jocko talk about it. You wake up sometimes and you don't feel like going to the gym, but you go anyways. And maybe it's not going to be the best workout. Maybe you feel, how you have that workout sometimes and you're like, man, I feel like I wasted my time. I didn't get that much out of it today, but at least you went.
It's something.
You did
Exactly.
something that you're going to feel better if you went and you did something and you had a workout that was meh versus sitting on the couch eating Cheetos and being like, yeah, you really feel bad. I mean, some
Yeah.
people don't care at all. The people who never work out that I know, like that, whatever, they look at someone like you or I, and they're just like, oh, y'all are crazy. I never work out. It's like, it's not part of their lifestyle because they never made it a habit, but you tend to fall more towards your feelings and getting more depressed and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but every video I watch talks about like the first solution for depression is to like start moving, get the blood pumping. You're going
Yeah.
to release those chemicals where you feel better. And even if you're having a terrible day, when you crush a workout, you're just like, all right, you feel invincible, right? The
It
runner's
does
high.
something to you. Just staying active does something to you. No matter where you look, whether it's
Yes.
in a book or in hashtags or social media, when you look at habits of successful people, exercise
Exercise.
is always there in one way or
Absolutely.
another. So, I'm big on that. If
Yeah.
successful people are doing it, I need to be doing it.
And I'm getting more into these hacks lately. Like I've been doing, I don't know if you saw my story the other day. Like I've been trying to do everything where, if we think about the first version of human beings, they were outdoors, they had to hunt for their food, they were walking around or running around all day.
Yeah.
And now we live these lifestyles where we just sit on a computer all day long, and a lot of people don't even exercise. Our bodies were designed to move, to hunt, to find animals and shelter, and like we have those fear responses and stuff. So I've been going out, waking up early, going into the sunlight. I even tried doing this grounding, or what do they call it, earthing, where you connect with the earth and like you stand on the floor, like on the grass, barefoot.
Yeah.
I tried to walk across the street barefoot, and I got those little freaking stickers in my feet. I was
Oh,
like,
I saw that in your
dude,
story.
I was like limping back. I was like looking like an idiot probably if anybody.
Oh man, you were out there hugging trees.
Dude, I was hugging trees and stuff, but like I felt it where at night I get naturally tired because I've gone out a couple of times during the day, and I've gone out into nature, I've gotten some sunlight, I've gotten the exercise. So that stuff really does work for those listening. But I wanted to start off with like the 75 hard and your exercise, because that's kind of, that almost started in a way where you started setting examples for others and you created your accountability group almost as a byproduct of this, right?
It was life changing, not only for me but for the people around me. I did it with my wife. That's one of
That's
the.
awesome.
It brought our relationship to a whole nother place. I started it, and when I told her, I said, "Hey, babe, I'm doing this thing," and she knew how much I listened to Andy. I'm all about business. I'm all about just becoming a better me. I come home and I'm still in business mode. I'm still in self-development and growth. So I came home and I'm like, babe, I'm thinking about doing this. Andy got the 75 hard program and she was like, oh, okay, well, that sounds cool, but go ahead. All right, well, want to do it with me, but all right. 17 days in, man, I lost a pound a day for the first 17 days.
Jeez.
And she was like, okay, I'm in. I'm in. So
I remember she started. Then did you restart with her again?
No,
Or
no,
you just okay?
no.
You're like, no, my 17 days count.
Failure is not an option for me. I start something, I finish it.
Right.
I'll wait for you to go to phase one.
Okay.
I'll finish my 75 days.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure if you were being nice and you're like, okay, honey, we'll start back at day one, so we can help each other out. You're like, nah, I'm 17.
No. Once I'm in,
you're all in.
And
that's good.
Where I was going with that was that after those 75 days, it brought so many people, and she became a very fit person. I started motivating my mom. My mom's lost like 37 pounds.
Wow.
With me. I have my aunts, I have cousins working out. I started making like family challenges to where I would download a Run Keeper app and I would send it in a group text message. And it was like, hey y'all, for the month of July, I want to do a family challenge. I'm challenging everybody to run at least 10 miles a week, whoever wants to do it. If you guys don't do it, you're gonna have to pay $10 and we're gonna donate them for something. You get to choose. And people started getting involved. People started losing weight. Then from there, around my birthday, it's when it started. I was like, okay, well, I finished 75 hard. I'm still consistent, but because in business, things started kind of getting tough for me. The business is growing so rapidly, so many changes. And what I had to do, I said, okay, I need to do something to get myself back on track. So I put something out for my birthday about accountability team. I said, hey, man, I want to create an accountability team. I need people to hold me accountable. I want to hold you accountable. Let's do this thing for 30 days. And I had a great feedback and started it. And I said, okay, we're going to continue to do this. And we're currently on chapter 5. We've been doing it for 5 months now.
So each month is a new chapter?
Yes, pretty much.
That's awesome. So it's like, I like how I've seen it because you've been posting it on your story and you get new people and you've got so much accountability. You even sent me an example of what the text looks like that you sent to somebody once they join, right? So you kind of gamify it where there's trophies involved. The team gets a trophy if everybody does their thing. And then someone's got to come up with an excuse if they didn't do it, right? Yeah. They got to share their excuse.
The way the accountability team is set up is me and my wife. We just encourage people to do it. We have a start date and an end date. Some chapters, it's been 20 days. Some chapters, it's been 30 days. Some chapters, it goes the whole month. And there's only three things that you have to do in the accountability team. One, you have to ask, hey, I want to be part of it. We don't want to, it's one of those things that you have to want it. People can't make you want it.
So people reach out to you for it?
People reach out to us and it's like, hey, I want in. We don't, we just push it out there and whoever wants to join, they join. Well, once you reach out to us, we put you in a group. It's on Instagram. And in this group, the whole purpose is for people to help each other get to the next level. It's mainly me and my wife doing the motivating because a lot of people don't want to speak out, but at least they're doing their part, which is working out. So one thing that you have to do from the day we start to the day we finish is you have to be active for 45 minutes. You choose what you choose, whatever you want to do, just stay active for 45 minutes. A lot of people struggle with consistency. Mm-hmm. So 45 minutes, just do something. I don't care if you go walking.
Right.
One thing you have to do is send a picture or a video of what you're doing. The other thing that you have to do is say, you know what, tell yourself and tell the team that you're going to hold yourself accountable for 30 days to make good, healthy decisions in your diet. Whatever you choose to be, stick to it for 30 days. And then the last thing, you have to finish a self-development book within the chapter. All you do in the actual accountability team is just send a picture of yourself working out. And what we do is we encourage people, we give people trophies throughout the day. If the whole team works out in one specific day, then the team itself gets another award. That's kind of how we do it.
Cool. That's really cool because even I think back to like high school. I mean, I wasn't very good at football. I only played 1 year, but I did football camp in the summers because it was such a good workout. They made you do 40s and you're running in the heat and Texas, 98 degrees in the summer. The camp starts at like 6 a.m. so you can try to beat the heat, but it's not even enough. And I remember when you're doing these 40s, it's like one thing if you're running by yourself on an empty field and no one's watching you, or you're doing sit-ups, you know, by
Yeah.
yourself. It's very easy to just do like half-ass and just 10 sets of 10 reps and then you're
Yep, yep.
done. If you're up against 20 other people or 30 people and everyone's sprinting full speed, you don't want to be the last person. You don't want to look like the weakest link.
Yep.
Or worst case, whoever the last place is has to do like another one. So if you don't work as hard as you can on the first try, you're going to end up having to do like even more work almost.
And that's when the accountability part comes in. So
It
one of the
comes in,
things I
right?
forgot to mention is that if you don't work out, we don't kick you out. You just have to let us why you couldn't put 45
And that's the
minutes.
worst thing, to type that excuse when you deep down that you should have done it and you could have done it.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. And that's the only time we take you out is if you don't work out or you don't tell us, hey, and a lot of the times it's, hey guys, you know what? I overslept, had a long day. I'm okay with that. But
Okay.
you're putting it out to the universe that, you know what? I could have worked out. I just made the decision not to do it.
Yeah. And I think there's a transformation that happens, like how you said you kind of transformed within that process, where now you're at that point where it's just part of who you are and it's just part of your routine, where maybe before you might have been like, whatever, call it rest day, I'll just work out on Monday. Now you're like 10 o'clock at night, I've seen you're doing like burpees or yoga or whatever to get that workout in. And it's something where you start to feel a little guilty almost. I think that's a good thing, because if you don't have that feeling of guilt, there's a lot of that going on now where people like they're accepting themselves as they are, and they just, a lot of excuses I think coming around, from people. And I don't want to body shame or do anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people are saying, just chill, like enjoy your life, like let life happen to you. And you got to take control, you got to get in the driver's seat and set some goals for
And
yourself.
I think there's levels or there's different types of people in everything, in fitness and business and life and marriage.
Yeah.
And some people just have to understand that and I understand that it's not for them. So that's why I don't push anyone to do it. But I
Right.
am a big believer that if you just, make 45 or just tell yourself, you know what, I am going to do it, whatever it is, I'm just going to stay active, it'll help you.
Exactly. And kind of like we talked about earlier, something's better than nothing. Even if Andy Frisella talks about it all the time, he talks about having to read a physical book. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm a slow reader. And he's like, don't use that excuse, because I'm a slow reader. It
Yep.
takes me an hour to read like 10 pages, but I still do it because you do 10 pages a day. I mean, you're still blowing by what a lot of people read. Like, a lot of people don't even read books. And
Exactly.
from reading every single morning, like, I don't know about if you tracked how many books you read last year. I think I read like 25. I read like 35 books last year.
I'm not there with you. I picked up a lot of books, Chris. No, I picked up, I think
Dude,
I did a
look at
counting.
this stack on my desk, dude. I can't even read them fast enough. I keep ordering new ones, right?
I think it was 17 books that I finished last year because I continued to read after.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Chris. The last time I finished a book was in that I decided to read was probably like in the 9th grade. I'm not a reader. I don't like to read.
Dude, I'm right there with you.
I learned, and that's the thing. I learned that, man, there's so much power in knowledge that I'll just be stupid not to take advantage of the knowledge that's out there for me to pick up.
Definitely.
For free or for $9.99,
Yeah. That's the craziest thing, because like any book, and I mean, I listened to one podcast earlier and the guy was talking about one book that's like $300 on Amazon, but he said that it's worth so much that there's $1,000 courses that aren't even as good as this book. And even then, that's kind of an expensive book, but most of these books are like $10, $12. I mean, dude, you can't even buy 2 coffees at Starbucks for that price. I mean, and that's just gone. You drink it down in like 30 minutes and it's over. And it's good, but like, too much sugar and stuff, probably, from what most of y'all listening are getting right now. But a book has so much knowledge, man. It's got super smart people who are millionaires, who are successful. They distill it down into 200-300 pages, and you can just take a lifetime of their information and their learnings and read it over the course of like 2-3 weeks.
Any book that you read will talk about how successful people are the people that are actually willing to share with you. A lot of people say, no, they don't, rich people or successful
tell
people
you.
don't want to. No, it's complete opposite because they've been there.
Right.
They're just only willing to share that with the people that they know are actually going to take advantage of the sweat equity that they put into this book or into this knowledge.
Right.
So it's just it just only makes sense to pick up these books. These people are putting the knowledge out there for you. They're willing to help you. They want to help you.
Yeah,
And all
man.
the knowledge is there.
I just read this one. Let me see. It's on my Instagram archive, but I just finished this book called The Alchemist. I've heard a lot about it. A few people told me about it. And you know how when you hear about a book a few times in like a week, you're like, okay, like 3 people have told me, let me just order it.
Yes.
But there was this one part, and I put, wow, like the story, for those who haven't read it, it might not make sense, but basically it's this big old story. And there's an alchemist, and he's got some stones and power. But I was reading this one page where they were trying to get through the desert, and they were stopped by some like not criminal looking people, but like there was a lot of war and stuff going on.
Yeah.
So they got stopped by some sketchy people, and those people asked the alchemist and the boy who's like the story in the story, one of the main characters, and they're like, what are those stones? And then the guy's like, that's the philosopher's stone and the elixir of life. It's the masterwork of the alchemists. Whoever swallows that elixir will never be sick again, and a fragment from the stone turns any metal into gold. So that was like actually what the stones do. They're like powerful or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then the Arabs, it says the Arabs laughed at him, and then the alchemists laughed along. So they thought he was like BSing. They're just like,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. And then the boy was like, why would you do that? Like, why would you put us at risk like that? And this was like the takeaway. He said, to teach you one of life's greatest lessons, when you possess great treasures within you and try to tell others of them, seldom are you believed. It's like, dang. So you could know the truth, and you could be telling someone like the actual secrets. Same thing with a book. It could have millions of dollars of information, but maybe a book given to the wrong person at the wrong time, or maybe they don't see the value, or they just read it and put it back on the shelf without implementing it. It's like treasure is in there, and maybe some people won't make the most of it.
What are you currently reading, Chris?
Man, I'm kind of like a guy on Netflix where I'm like, I watch one episode of that and then I go here. So right now I'm reading Build a Rental Property Empire.
Okay. I like
And
that. Yeah.
sounds good, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a student of marketing and stuff. So I'm also reading how to write a good advertisement. I'm trying to get better with writing sales letters and emails and just compelling letters to people who read my emails, to people who look at my Facebook ads. How about you? What are you reading now?
I am currently reading The Power of Thinking Big.
Oh, I've heard that. I haven't read that one yet. How far are you in?
Man, I got about 40 pages left on it.
Good. Is that The Power of Thinking Big? Who's it by again?
You know what? It was a book that I found at home. I have no idea how
I think it's like Eckhart Tolle or something. Let me type it in. Is it The Power of Positive Thinking?
No, The Power of Thinking Big.
Is it The Magic of Thinking Big?
No, hold on.
Because I know that book. Yeah, I've read The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. I think you just combined two book titles, bro.
I did.
There's The Power of Positive Thinking. I've heard of that. And then there's The Magic of Thinking Big, which is...
I literally just had the book.
Dude, no worries. No worries. If you have
I gotta go find it. You may have to edit that.
No worries.
You were right, Chris.
The Magic of Thinking Big, right?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I have another book that starts with power.
Yeah.
But okay. Let me answer that question again.
So it is The Magic of Thinking Big.
I am currently reading The Magic of Thinking Big.
There we go. Awesome. And that's another good one. I think that's actually the first book that I listened to. One of my friends got me into this positive thinking and mindset stuff. And ironically, now he just like parties all the time. Before coronavirus, he just parties all the time. And we used to go work together at Starbucks and get these books read. And then I don't know if he's doing any of this entrepreneur stuff or not. I feel like he got me into this. I got addicted, and then he like fell off.
And that's an interesting change, but it's crazy what you just said. He got me into this. This is an actual.
It's a lifestyle.
Exactly. The whole evolvement, the whole growth, the whole chasing a better you and trying to be part of that 3% rule and all this. This is a thing. This is a lifestyle. And I'm a big believer that you either evolve or you dissolve, no matter what you're doing.
I like that. You evolve or you dissolve.
Yes. If you evolve or you dissolve, whether it's in fitness, whether it's in business, whether it's in marriage, whatever, right. Either you evolve or you dissolve or that dissolves.
Yeah. Dang, that's true. That's true. That's a really powerful quote though, because I mean, no matter what it is that you do, if you don't water the plants, you know, your business, your mind, your muscles, they're going to die, right? You've got to feed the nutrients that are required for your mind and all of those things. So if you don't evolve, you dissolve. That's
in,
quotable.
in everything. Yeah. And I don't even know if it's a famous quote, but if not, I will take
You'll
it.
take it.
I will
George
take.
Washington probably said it. You know how if you're ever in doubt, just say Abraham Lincoln said it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of quotes that just stick around. I don't know where I got them from. And then sometimes I say stuff and it's like, is that a quote? I was like,
That's
man,
good.
I got a lot in my head. It could be a quote, but if it's not, I will claim if you don't evolve, you
Yeah,
don't
I'll give
evolve.
you credit, man. So if you don't evolve, you dissolve. I'm gonna say that you made that up. So for your accountability group, how many people do you guys have in there now? And do people kind of churn? Is it people join and then some people fall
Varies.
off?
It varies. So right now, this chapter, we have 27 people in it.
Okay.
Uh, it's just something that's, just whoever wants to be involved. We've had chapters where it was bigger. We've had chapters where it was smaller. There's people that come and they'll do a chapter and it's like, man, this is hard. And
Yeah.
then they come back. We've had people that'll do one or two and then take one chapter off and come back like, hey, I thought I could do it without y'all, but uh,
I
it's
need
hard.
y'all. Yeah.
I need y'all. So it's something that we want to grow and continue to grow. Right now, this chapter, we have 27 people. We've had up to
Okay.
22 in one chapter alone. We don't, once it starts, we don't bring anyone else in. And
Yeah.
you always have people that see a video and they're like, hey, I want in. And you're
Too
like, okay,
late.
well, we start the next one on the 1st of next month. And then you reach out and say, hey, you want in? Oh, no, things got crazy for me. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why do you do that? Why
Right.
want something 1 second? And then it's like, no, you know what? That was
I
just
don't really want it. Yeah.
but we want to grow it. The goal that I mentioned earlier. I set a goal at the beginning of this year when I did my vision board and when I did my goals for the year. And I want to change 60 lives. I want to be able to say that through just accountability and consistency and me trying to make an effort, I want to change 60 lives. That's
But
what I'm
you
trying.
already got 27 signed up for this month, right?
Yeah.
You get a couple new people. We're only here halfway, not even halfway through the year. So that's definitely looks like you're gonna blow past that.
I want to, man, I want to take it. I want to take it big. So if anybody wants to join, you guys are more than welcome to. We'll put the information out next month or in a couple weeks for the
Yeah.
next chapter. But man, I want to encourage people. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to motivate, inspire, and change people's lives through our accountability team.
That's amazing. And I mean, I'm still kind of thinking about products or courses or coaching to offer to my podcast audience. So I'm always thinking like, okay, how do you manage it? And do you have a list of people? And does it ever get too crazy where you're just like, because I know you got a full-time business that you're doing too. How do
It,
you manage the accountability group?
so I had to. The first one was a hot mess. I thought
You're
it
like,
was.
wait, who's in the group again?
Yeah, it was the first one wasn't that well thought because I expected 4 or 5 people to reach out. I was like, hey man, let's do this together. But
Yeah.
the first one, I think we had like 29 people join.
Dang.
And what happens is people drop throughout the month.
Yeah.
Right now, this month, I think we dropped like two or three people just were like, hey, I'll catch the next one.
I'm
But
out.
what I was going with that is the first one was hard. But the good thing is me and my wife manage it together. So we have a kind of like a checklist. Whenever someone checks in, we give out their trophy. We have a shared note that we both have access to, and we just mark them off throughout the day. We start calling people out. It is days where I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Yeah.
Running a business, I run 3 businesses, so trying to do all that and still find time to do this is hard. But sometimes it's 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock till I can go in and start sending all the messages and giving out the awards and doing what I can do. So I make
Yeah.
an effort and somehow, we make it happen, but
Right.
it's hard.
I was just curious to see how you manage it because even me, I say yes to so many things, and then I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have done that because now it's
You
all
are,
going crazy.
you really are goals, man. The way, how organized
I
and
appreciate that, man.
how, how much attention to detail you have, that's admiring. That is a big
Thank you,
key to be successful. And I'm trying to get like that.
dude. I appreciate that, and that's so funny because I have a coach at my productivity coach at my office right now,
Yeah.
and this is for real estate. For those listening, I mentioned him before, and it's kind of funny because my personality on the disc profile, I'm like an ID. Like I love talking to people. I love making friends, networking, and I got a little bit of direction or directness where I can get to the point, I can get deals done and stuff. But like I love making friends. I could talk for like 30 minutes to my neighbor just about her dog, you know? But the thing about that is in my personality, my profile, it's like I hate checklists, I hate processes. I'm just like a fly by the seam of my pants kind of guy, you know?
You don't seem like it, Chris.
I appreciate that.
I've known you well enough to. I mean, I'll never forget the first day we had an MMG meeting, and we were talking about
Mastermind group meeting for those listening.
Yes, we had our first MMG meeting, and when we got to meet each other, and that day, I think you pulled out a notebook and started talking about your checklist, and I was like, man, this guy's really working. And I started, as we got closer, I started getting screenshots of your calendar, and you schedule every single minute of your day.
Yeah.
I'm winging it all day, and somehow I make it happen, and I need to get like you.
And the funny thing is, it's something that happened over time because like I still struggle to document things, and my coach finally was like, make a checklist for everything: your morning routine, your podcast routine, when you follow up with a client, when you get a new client. And when I made the checklist, I finally got a chance to be like, am I doing the right steps? Am I doing stuff I shouldn't do?
Accountability.
Dude, accountability. So I needed someone to tell me and hold me accountable, because when I had that meeting and he told me, okay, by next 2 weeks when we meet, you got to have these checklists done. And of course I did them the day before. I was like, oh crap, let me do all these checklists. But then when we met, it felt a lot better to actually have that. And so the calendar that you see where everything's scheduled, man, that all came over time. And I have to constantly remind myself, like, Chris, before you say yes or do all this stuff, check your calendar, use your calendar. You got to have systems and accountability. So you and your wife can hold each other accountable too. Like if you forget something, I'm sure she'll remind you like, hey,
it's definitely helped out that she's part of this lifestyle with me.
Yes.
A lot of people are lucky enough, or they just don't mesh that way to where you're both.
I got to get my girlfriend on this. She's watching TV over there.
And join the accountability team.
I'm going to tell her, man. She's been watching Netflix.
We're having another one. It's fun. Not only that, but someone like you, Chris, you do it every day. It's not a thing for you. But you being a part of it and other people seeing that, man,
they get the energy off of that. That's true, man. You got to lead by example.
Exactly. So it holds me accountable. I cannot do it. I have to do it.
Yes.
So whether it's 1 a.m, 2 a.m, I've worked out at 3 a.m. before I go to bed.
Yeah.
It holds me accountable.
I don't know if you got a chance to check out that interview I just did with Dean Graziosi, but the biggest takeaway that I had from that interview, it was just like, man, it touched my soul. Cause he said, he was like looking at the camera, looking at me, and I was like looking into his eyes, like as if, I mean, he was talking to me, but he does this all the time. So he's talking to my audience as well. But he was saying that no matter how big you are on social media, you're going to always compare yourself to someone who's got 1 million followers, 5 million, 10 million. None of that matters. There's one person out there who needs to hear your message. And from you posting that, you said like people reached out to you who you didn't even know were watching, and they were motivated and they wanted to join.
There's been times where my wife is like, hey, so-and-so didn't check. I'm like, who is she? She's like, you don't know her? I'm like, no.
Some random person just joined, right?
We've had people from everywhere join. Some people come back,
awesome.
Some people don't. Because we do, and the only reason I call myself an accountability coach is because that's what they call me. They check me and call me a coach. And you signed up for this. And my goal is to change lives. So since you signed up for this, I'm going to get on you and I'm going to message you and I'm going to text you. And I'm like, I FaceTime people before, like, hey, you're the last person today. The team
get your workout in. Yeah.
So there's some people that can't take that, and it's not for everybody. But our content, what you're putting out, there's always, in your cases, way more than one person that's out there and wants the message that you're trying to put out.
Yeah. And at one point it was one person. Like it was just, I'd share a post and it was just my mom would like it. I'm like, thanks, Mom. And I just kept posting. Dude, there was a time where I would post, and if I got like 2 likes, I would just delete it because I'm like, man, no one cared about this. I'm going to just delete it. And now I'm like, whatever, 1 like or 50 or 1,000, I'm just going to keep on putting out content.
Yeah, man, you have a huge audience. And I've been knowing you for a year, and I've known how rapidly your podcast is growing.
Yeah. I'm surprised too, man. I'm just like, cool. Now I'm a podcaster. Last year I was like kind of a podcaster. I was like, maybe. But now I'm like, I'm a podcaster.
And the way how consistent you are. I don't care if you have 1 follower or 1 billion followers. If you are consistent with anything, that's who you are.
It's going to
Right?
grow too.
Exactly.
I followed up with somebody else. I connected and he had it on his LinkedIn profile, like host of whatever show. And I'm like, cool. How many podcast episodes did you have? And before he replied back, I looked up his podcast. He
Yeah.
only released 1 episode. And he got back and he's like, oh, I only did 1. You know, things got busy and then the coronavirus. I'm like, dude, you had so much time stuck at home in the coronavirus. You could have put out 50 episodes right by now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I wanted to do it, but I didn't start it because I'm one of those that failure is not an option. I'm not okay with being average.
Yep.
So if I was going to start something, I was going to
finish it.
And that's the only reason I don't put out as much content, or I have never started a podcast, because I do want to share the message. I do want to vote. Because everything I do is free. Like the podcast, not the podcast, I'm sorry. The accountability team, it's free. I don't charge anything from it. I genuinely want to change lives, and I want to be a part of people changing lives. My reward is, hey, the messages that I get, because those messages, hey, I really appreciate it. This group has guided me through a hard time. Or, hey, man, I struggled to lose weight forever. This right here, I've lost 5 pounds. And it's a lot of positivity that we can all use on a daily. Yeah. With all the craziness that's going on in the world, just people reaching out to me saying, hey, thank you. This is cool. I really appreciate it. It just makes my day go better, period.
That's so true. And you hear about like how energy is contagious, you know, when someone walks through the room and they're just pissed, or, you know, you have a mean boss and you can just tell they're upset about something, and then they kind of just like, they're not very nice in a meeting or whatever it is. That energy is contagious and it'll rub off on other people. And so that's why I've also heard it said, like, if you've got a sales team and one guy is crushing it and he's your best sales guy, but he's negative and he complains, you got to let him go, because he's going to kill the vibe of your whole team, versus someone who's always optimistic, always positive, a go-getter. Okay, it didn't work, or this didn't work out. How can I fix it? You know, like what did I learn from it, instead of just complaining about it? Yeah. Right. So
I agree. Positivity is key.
Exactly. So like with your group, when you're positive and you have the energy, winners align themselves with winners. Like when I see someone like you posting and I'm like, man, he already got his workout in at like whatever time, I haven't gone yet, let me go get it. Exactly. And I look at my feed and I see someone got to the gym at 5 a.m. before coronavirus or whatever. I can't wait for gyms to open back up, by the way. Whenever someone went to the gym and they're there at like 6 a.m. and I just woke up at 6 a.m., I'm like, dang, this guy's already at the gym.
But even right now, especially right now, with all the craziness and people being at home, if you're not making the effort to just get better, then you really got to reconsider what you got going on. And whether you may not like working out, but it's not about fitness. It's just about a healthier life and a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
Yoga, whether it's jogging, whether it's, right now you're at home, you have the time. So all the people that are listening, if you're stuck at home, or if you don't, you got the time to do it right now. Don't stop with the excuses, and stop with whatever. Start today. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till it's the right time or when the gyms open up. And I don't have a gym. I'm able to sneak into a half constructed gym. However, my garage, man, most of my workouts is me jumping and squatting and twisting and
body weight stuff. Yeah,
exactly. So all the people listening, if you're not getting in shape right now, you did not take advantage of the opportunity, because there's positive in this. A lot of people talk about the negativity of the coronavirus, man, but there's a lot of positive things that can come out of this. Times like this either make you or break you, and you just need to make sure that it's making you and not breaking you.
Exactly. There's another thing I saw. I shared this on Instagram, and it said, if you don't come out of this quarantine with a new skill, a new side hustle, new knowledge, you never lacked time, you lacked discipline. And of course, this doesn't apply if someone actually listening got sick or had to deal with that. Then of course, you had to go to the hospital, do whatever you had to do. But most people who are stuck at home and they're complaining like, oh man, I already watched everything Netflix has to offer, right? The joke, like Netflix is like, you have watched everything.
Yeah, I know.
If you were that person, you had time.
Man, if you're stuck at home doing TikToks all day and Instagram, then you lost the opportunity, because it is an opportunity. Like me, first when this whole thing happened, it was a negative thing. It was the fear. But I said, you know what? I've been waiting for a pause. I've been waiting. Like even in my
Right.
business, we grew so rapidly that it started from a hustle, like it was just a side hustle until we started a business. I'll tell you that story another time, but it was a side hustle until we figured out what business we wanted to start.
Oh, I
And
remember you told me you did a couple different businesses, you tried a few different things out.
it was supposed to be whenever we started the business, it was a multi-service business. But even right before that, it was literally a hustle. Like me and my business partner had a job. We were doing this on the side, but it grew so rapidly that I had two full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Then there, it just took off. It took off within, I don't know, within a year. We got up to like 10 employees. And that was from not knowing anything about the industry, being literally in our industry, we call it a trunk slammer, to a reputable, full-blown business. But we grew so rapidly that we never actually were able to set up all the SOPs that we wanted to put in. We were
Right.
literally going. So with this pause, we just said, you know what, that's the pause I've been waiting for. I was forced. We're still running. Business has slowed down because of everything that's going on. But the pause that this has given us, it's allowing us to be able to put all those things and fix all those things that we wanted to put into effect and adjust
Right.
all those things. So there is positive in this time at home. There is positive in this situation. You just gotta find it.
Absolutely. It's so easy, especially if you scale up that fast. And I mean, I'm not growing as fast as you guys are, but I mean, I'm starting to see how busy things can get. When I had 4 deals close in 1 month, dude, I felt like I had to answer the phone every 2 seconds. Someone was calling me. I had to call this person. That person texted me. I got a new email that I got to respond to. And I was starting to freak out because I'm like, how am I going to juggle all of this? And it's just me because I didn't have a team in place or, systems in place. But
Yeah.
now that things slowed down a little bit, like I have 4 closings in February and then like nothing closed in March. And then I had a deal close recently here in April. I'm starting to get leads again now that people are starting to, come out of their homes and whatever. But it gave me the opportunity to sit back, make those checklists my coach was telling me about, time block the calendar more and make sure I even dialed in my daily routine. It's on my calendar. Before I had like a morning routine. Now it comes up on my calendar. It's like, hey, it's almost 12 o'clock, 1 hour lunch break from 12 to 1. And then 1 to 1:15, I meditate. 1:30 to 2 p.m. I read for 30 minutes. So man,
Chris,
I got that in my calendar. It's crazy.
that is awesome. I need to get to that.
Yeah. And the cool
That is,
thing is, we got to talk about all the productivity hacks too. I got to teach my audience more about that. Like, if you put your phone on Do Not Disturb for 15 minutes, just meditate, you might miss a couple calls. They'll leave you a voicemail. You can call them back.
yeah, yeah. That's one of those things where I I fell off my morning routines. I need to get back on. I still find time for myself, but
Yeah.
that morning, those 30, 45 minutes in the morning that you have for yourself are definitely worth it.
Game changer. Dude, when I finished my morning routine, I'm like, I read, I meditated, I looked at my vision board. I have my coffee. I said read already. I do my journal for 20 or for like 10 minutes or something like that. I read my journal from a year ago so I can see how much I've grown or what issues that I was having then that I've already overcome. And after I finished that, I'm like, man, I already feel like I'm ready for the day. I'm excited. I got so much done, and there's people still sleeping or people that are, they're
Yeah,
still drooling on the pillow, and I already did the whole thing. I even work out, run 2 miles, 4 miles, whatever it is. So,
that is awesome, Chris. You are killing it. You
dude,
are
I'm just trying to be
you're
more like
motivating
you.
and inspiring all of us.
I just want to be you when I grow up, bro.
I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
See, that's the funny thing too, because we always play the comparison game. I want stuff that you want stuff that I have, and we both look up to each other, which helps us stay friendly, competitive.
And that's the thing. When you have a like us, we have a group of individuals that are all about bettering themselves, but
Yeah,
are also about challenging each other and helping each other build up. So when you surround yourselves with people that are positive, that are successful, that are trying to grow, that are trying to better themselves, yeah, you may be a little bit more, I don't know, organized than me in one thing, and there'd be certain things that I can help you improve on. So that's the thing
exactly.
about surrounding yourself with successful people, that all those things that you want to work on, they probably either want to work on or are good at those, and that's how you build yourself up.
Right. So for everyone listening, that's why it's so important to create some kind of mastermind or accountability group, because you can lean on the strengths of people in the group. We did that one exercise at one MMG meeting. Remember, we all talked about our favorite software. You and
Yep.
your business partner were like, man, mind blown, because we talked about all these helpful tools that, and you guys were like, we've been using Google Sheets all these all these years.
Man, we were winging it. And once again, it's one of those things where you surround yourself with successful people, you're going to take things from it and you're going to be able to give. And I
And
remember
it was
saying,
so humbling, man. I was like, you learned something from me. You got a real business. Like,
nah, man, y'all got it going on.
I
Yeah,
was like, dude, it's just me pushing
no,
paper.
that right there, what you have, a lot of people wish they had. And we
Yes.
can all develop it. We just have to continually work, continue to work on it. In your case, you got it down, Chris.
Well, man, we both got it down. And everybody who's trying to get better, like, you may not feel like you have it down, but if you're pushing yourself and people see you pushing yourself, everybody's watching. I've been messaging so many friends I haven't talked to in years just to check in, see how they've been doing. And they all are like, I admire your work ethic. I'm like, oh, you've been watching? I haven't even talked to you in 5 years. And they know what I'm doing. They see my podcast. Some of them have listened to it without me
People
even
are watching.
asking.
People are
People
watching.
watch.
And I don't understand why some people are just, I don't know if it's embarrassed or jealousy or
They
whatever.
won't like, they won't comment.
Yeah, like and I literally, all I do is positive content, whether it's
Yes.
family or
Seen it.
business, or I like to push positivity. Sometimes I go on a rant and I just grab the mic and I just start going. And it's because I want to be able to say something to someone to make their day better or trigger something in someone to say, you know what, I'm gonna start today. I'm gonna stop procrastinating. But some
Yeah.
people are just scared to reach out or like your stuff or say, hey man, this is nice. Don't know why, but some
Yeah.
people are like that.
And some people, I mean, I've become way more engaging because I used to lurk in the comments and I'd read and I wouldn't like. And even YouTube videos, I watch a video, I'm like, that was a great video. I would never like it. I would never comment. And now I understand, because I'm creating all the content and I know how awesome it feels when people engage. I tell people, like, even if it's thank you, like, thank you for making this video, it was so helpful. And people engage with you. Like, top entrepreneurs that have millions of followers will reply back to you and be like, thanks so much for listening. And maybe they're just like busting through 100 replies to try to engage a little bit because they're busy. But at the same time, it's impressive, right? Because people are taking a second to acknowledge you and thank you for thanking them.
Of course, and not only that, but if you're the person putting out the content, you also appreciate it and
You do.
involve. Know that there's someone out there, or some people, whether it's one or 100 or 30,000,
Right.
that are actually taking in and taking their time to listen to what you're saying, and not only that, they appreciate it.
Right. I sent an email to my list the other day just telling them about the Dean Graziosi interview and to check it out. And one person replied back saying, like, thank you so much. It means so much. And I actually replied back within like 2 minutes. I was like throwing the ball for my dog. And I replied, and I don't know this person at all. And I was like, hey, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your email. It means a lot. Like, the fact that you're willing to take 2 seconds to send me an email. And she replied back and was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe someone's so busy like you. Like, that made my day. The fact that you even replied to me, because it's so easy to just get, delete or move on
Yep.
and go on to the next thing. But I got to head out and show that house here in a bit to a couple clients. But where can our audience go to reach you, Lilo?
Lilo_Fonseca. It's my Instagram. I
Okay,
don't have a Twitter. I mean, you can find me on Facebook under the same name. But social media, Instagram. The
cool.
name of my business is Empire AV Services and Installations. That's my main business, my main focus. I have other things that some I have in the process and some are already established and running. But my biggest business is Empire AV Services. We're in Houston, Austin, and Dallas. So for all those listeners in those cities, if you need any AV work or home automation, that's where you can find us.
Definitely. Yeah, everybody reach out. If you want to be part of that accountability group, that'd be awesome to help you grow to that 60 number. I think you're going to blow past that this
I
year,
definitely,
honestly.
then if I could just get 1% of your listeners to say, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to this guy and let him help me. I want it. I want a little accountability. Y'all please
For
reach out.
free. Yeah,
Exactly, for free. I don't
it's
charge anything
awesome.
for it.
You're gonna get blown up, hopefully. I
Yeah.
don't know if I got that kind of pull like Andy Frisella, where I know I've heard some of his shows where he's like, "Oh man, your website's gonna crash." I don't think I'm there yet, but like if I can even send like 5 people to you
I don't
who
care if it's
sign
one.
up, that'd be
I don't care if it's
amazing.
one person. I just
Even one person.
I'll take one. I'll take 50. I'll take 100.
Awesome. So I'll put your Instagram handle in the show notes. And man, Lilo, this was awesome. I'm glad we got a chance to talk. It's been a
All right.
while, I think, since we've even caught up, with the with the
Get
coronavirus.
busy. Couple texts, you'll text me, and then I'll text you back in a day, and then I'll text you. And you're
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good
like,
at replying, but we just
yep,
sometimes we just miss each other. But it's definitely good to catch up, Chris. Go, keep doing your thing, keep inspiring, keep
you
pushing, keep
too.
motivating. Go in this deal, go knock it out the park.
Thanks, man. I know they are ready to write an offer, but they want to see the house one more time, and it's like a $450,000 house. So I'm like, I'm trying to make that commission. Like, let's go.
Man, go knock it out the park.
Thank you, bro. So everybody listening, that takeaway: if you do not evolve, you'll dissolve.
Exactly. Keep
Bam. That's like
growing.
a mic drop.
Have a
Dude,
good
Lilo, I appreciate it, man.